All right, so part 2, this is going to be walking you through the actual conversation that you'll be having with the foster applicant. So this is the screening document that Clark made. He's been doing a fantastic job at screening applicants. So he wrote this quick little document up on things that you should touch base on when we're not in a pandemic and we're not in a crisis. Our application screening process and the questions are a little bit lengthier, but for this, for our need right now, this is exactly what we need. So I'm very thankful for him to do this. So first you want to make sure, hold on, something's going on. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So this first bullet point, we already did that, right? We already looked to make sure that the zip code is within about an hour tops from Brother Wolf. And then you want to start off the conversation by first asking if they have a moment to just go over their application and thanking them for offering to volunteer with Brother Wolf and the support that they give us. We've also been telling people that our census is low, I think because of the craziness of the media being like, animals in shelters need help, blah, blah, blah. Like, they think that we have a ton of animals that are in need right now, but as of today, that will change tomorrow, but as of today, we're fine. So we've really been emphasizing the fact that we are safe, the animals in our care are safe, and we don't need to get them out into foster immediately, but that we are very thankful for them to offer their home to us just in case there is a dire emergency in the next couple of weeks and we do have to vacate the shelter. But as of right now, we do not have any plans or requirements to vacate the shelter coming from the state or the county or the city. So the animals with us that are here now are good to stay, but we're very thankful for this safety net. So you want to confirm the types of pets that they're interested in fostering. So going still off of our example from the first video, Sue Taylor wanted to foster dogs. So you want to kind of talk to her about that and see why she wants to foster dogs. Does she have experience with dogs? And it doesn't have to be a long conversation. I've generally just been saying, so I see here that you noted you wanted to foster dogs. Is that still true? And what kind of dogs are you looking for? Just to kind of gauge what she's thinking in terms of what her ideal foster dog would be. You want to ask them if they could commit to 2 weeks. Now, this is going to be different for puppies and kittens and other animals that have medical needs. It might be a little bit longer. It might be shorter, but our average fostering commitment tends to waver around 2 weeks. So you want to say, our average fostering is about 2 weeks. Is that a commitment that you can make? You also want to note that if they do end up picking up an animal and they have to bring it back, please give us 48 hours notice just so we can make sure that we have a space ready in the adoption center for that animal. And then you want to, if they have pets, you want to get some general information about their pets, their vaccination status, their spay-neuter status, and if they're good with other animals. Then we also confirm that they're good to correspond via email. The majority of our work comes through emails, so we want to make sure that they are comfortable on the internet and that we don't run exclusively through phone calls. A couple of our people want us to give them a phone call every single time. We have over 500 foster parents. We don't have the time to call every single one, so we do operate pretty much exclusively via email. Now, if there is an emergency, we will give them a call, but typically we operate through the internet. Now, after you've asked them those questions, this is when you want to talk about the fostering process with Brother Wolf just a little bit to make sure that they're on board and they can do all of this stuff. So here's where we're going to talk about how we advertise our fostering needs. So we send out the Foster Fetch newsletter that's sent out 3 times a week, sometimes less if we don't really have that many needs, but 3 times a week usually, along with pictures and information about all the animals that we need to have find foster. We also have a program called Sleepover, where dogs can be picked up on Friday or Saturday night and then stay with a foster through the weekend, being dropped back off around Monday or Tuesday, and that gives us some good insight on how the dog is in the home. But if they don't want to foster dogs, you don't even really need to touch on that. We also have the foster Facebook page, which is up to date immediately. So if we get a kitten in 5 minutes that we need to find foster for, I'll post it immediately. Whereas the Foster Fetch, it would take a day to get out. So if they have Facebook, we highly suggest that they add the Facebook page, and the invite will be in the first email that we send as soon as they're approved. We also like to touch base on the fact that Brother Wolf makes sure that fostering is easy as possible. We provide all medical care, all medical treatments, all food, and all crates, enclosures, animal-specific supplies, anything that they need. And if we don't have it in the shelter, we can reimburse. We just ask that you let us know ahead of time that that's something that you need, just so that we can check our stock and make sure that that's a purchase that needs to be happening. And if they seem kind of like they're on the edge of, I might fall in love with a foster, like I'm fostering to find my forever animal, just make sure that you note too that fostering is not a direct path to adoption. We get it. Sometimes fosters keep their animals for a long amount of time, and then they end up being like, oh, well, we love this animal. Like we just had an animal, a cat named Casper, had been in foster for over 2 years. And then finally their foster was like, all right, we're going to keep him forever. So things like that do happen, and we're very thankful, but we don't want to emphasize that, like, sure, you can foster a puppy and then have it forever. Like, that's not necessarily what our foster program is all about. Once you've had that conversation and they seem on board still, just let them know that their foster application has been approved, and that they should be on the lookout in their email to a link to our Brother Wolf Foster website, which is a foster parent specific website, and that's where our orientation materials are also located. That's also where we put any like frequently asked questions or any announcements. All of that stuff goes on that website, so it's a very important website. Ask them if they have any additional questions, but remind them that, once again, that website has lots of information, and that they are more than welcome to send us an email to foster@bwar.org if they have any questions or if anything comes up. And then once again, end your call just thanking them for wanting to get involved and to watch for that email. All right, so that is Screening